今天呢，我过来上海看 F1啊，但我有一个重要的任务，我要送一位 CEO 啊去赛车场。
据说007的座驾就是他设计的。
听说他们给了我一台特别的车，啊，我的战车到现场了。这是中国第一台啊马丁的旗舰跑车 Vanquish 啊，来个一键3连不过分吧？作为开箱大使，还挺荣幸的啊。哎，如果副驾是头哥，那就更好了。蓝色内饰哦，当然是左舵的啊。其实英国呢是可以上左舵的，看到没有？英国车牌的这个车呢是办了临时入境的啊。中国开外国车呢，你需要一张临时入境的手续。其实我们之前记得在海南跑拉力赛也是靠了这一张啊，然后在海南就可以通行入土了。啊，有些朋友呢可能不太知道啊，因为马丁的旗舰车型呢，有时候名字叫 Vanquish， 有时候叫 DBS。那这台车啊，你可以看到，其实它就是把 DB12武装到牙齿的样子呢，就变成了这台 Vanquish 了。这台车呢，就是它又有一种很坏的人的感觉，但是它又有一个很好的 gentleman 的感觉。怎么能把坏和好混的那么自然的感觉？我哋喺度幾改勁壞，但係睇個比例，佢又勁型喎。比较低调啊，再没踩起来。它好复古啊，这个尾巴。而且呢，不一样的是 ，DB12呢现在都是 V8 的，这台呢 V12，835匹的马力。就是电车都去到1000多匹了，其实现在油车要玩的呢，都玩 V12。死啦，識唔識開微商咧？豆話先，呢粒可以直接竖的。后备箱的空间呢？放2个登机箱，能放吗？
刚好
满粉儿。这台车呢啊，就是我看 F1的代步车了啊，但是我要顺便啊，把马丁的大佬呢送去赛车場。我原本想話型啊，但係它的門檻那個碳纖好粗，我撞到了。嗱，呢個超跑啦，咁闊條邊。你知道吗？一般蓝内我都会觉得太骚，很难驾驭啊。但是这个马丁啊，你觉得在这个 Vanquish 里怎么一切都那么和谐啊？好帅啊，这个内饰。果然啊，就是开超跑呢，就是要这种独一份的感觉啊，越稀有啊，这种感觉呢是越尊贵的啊。马丁最厉害的地方呢，就是能把那种碳和皮啊，就是把这个很多碳的东西做得很豪华的这种感觉。看调最低可以多低？喂，降低，哇，好低，正啊！哇，凹进去，哇，正，做到浴盆里面开车一样的感觉，哈，哇，好正啊！一进来啊，那种战斗的感觉呢，就好像比 DB12战斗了好多啊。它保持了 DBS 原来那种很威猛啊、很激进的感觉，但同时它又有了一份复古和优雅的味道。像 Valkyrie 啊、Valhalla 那些，完全就是为了这个性能、为了空气动力啊、下压力那些去做的。那这些 GT 的超跑呢，其实它要做的事情呢，就是如何让自己显得更帅啊，这个才是他们的任务嘛。V12就是舒服，我告诉你啊，这个 GT 模式好爽啊！这个座椅呢又是一个大沙发，但这个车的底盘呢又是很运动，它是用这张沙发来去消除它的这种很运动的、就过分运动的路感的啊！我觉得这个做的特别好。我觉得啊，我们直接切换到 Sport 加就好了。哇，好臭底啊！这车马上躁动起来了，哇！而且800多匹的动力呢，你也觉得就够了，日常开就够了，不需要过1000匹，因为它扭矩已经去到1000牛米了。其实有很多人呢会说啊，这个 GT 就不是超跑，但其实超跑它不是一个跑车的分类啊。跑车有 GT 跑车，有赛道化的跑车，有敞篷跑车 Roadster， 但超跑其实是一个统称，是说有超大的马力、超级的品牌、超级贵，这个呢它就能属于超跑的范畴了。但当然啊，就是无论你怎么说，超跑呢它一定要跑得足够快。所以呢，如果你觉得 DB12呢不够超的话呢，啊，这个呢就是它 Vanquish 存在的意义了，它让一台 GT 跑车变得非常的 super 啊。其实你知道吗？我以前说啊，为什么电动车好？因为它像 V12， 为什么今时今日我们超跑还要用 V12呢？因为它给你的体感像一个电动机，它不落后于时代。我现在只是觉得上海的路不够开，因为呢，作为一个奉公守法的人呢，现在我们是一个外牌，它是不能上上海的高架的。现在我觉得在上海市区开有点憋屈，这台车开到没脾气，全是红绿灯，全是车，全是人，全是堵。它最适合是应该要送去 F1那里啊，去当安全车，我觉得这是最适合它的地方。哦，现在我们来到了传说中的武康路了吗？我只用 M 档哈，看看有没有人认识这一台 Vanquish 啊？哇，回头率还挺高啊，毕竟 V12的声音还是挺标志性的啊，这个车。啊，印度的友人也看我们这台车，他们都觉得一个英国车牌很神奇，你知道吗？很多人向我挥手了，都已经，哈，马上拿起手机，他手机都摔了，印度人，他要拍这个车，手机摔了，很离谱。哇，好大阵仗哎，这里现在大佬在这里啊，好多学生在这里合影，然后现在他们先看看这个车，大家都好好奇啊。这位呢，就是我今天要接送的大佬了。这位大佬呢可不简单啊，阿斯顿马丁呢近20年很多车都是他设计的，包括我们今天开的这台 Vanquish。可以说近年阿斯顿马丁豪华运动的属性呢离不开它的设计。Like people is really curious about the naming of Aston Martin because sometimes you call it a DBS, sometimes you call it Vanquish.
Well, it's Vanquish because this is a new platform. The last generation DBS, it was the V12 version of DB12.
Yeah.
But this is a new platform with a different wheelbase, completely different layout to DB12 and V12, new engine, etc., etc.
Okay.
So Vanquish is only ever when it's a new platform car.
Okay.
所以今天呢，要跟他详细聊聊什么是好的设计。
And so your base is Shanghai, or?
No, actually, I'm based in Guangzhou.
Ah.
Have you been to Guangzhou before?
Yes. Yeah.
Because of the motor show, right?
Yeah.
The students always like this sound. Vanquish, you just explain the name to us. And what about the design? Because nowadays we can see more and more supercars trying to use some vintage design. We put especially for the back, I think is a bit like a tribute to some old cars. Is it true?
No, I mean, I always look at Aston Martin as progressive in terms of design language. We have a DNA which is based on the truest form of golden proportion, so exceptional proportion. So Vanquish really started its life from achieving the best proportion that you possibly could with the front mid-engine layout. So very long hood, very swept back to the rear, what I would describe as a single point of power. So all of the lines are consequent to pushing the car forward even at rest. The rear of the car is really not so much of a nod, but historically we've always used a shield in our designs. We've always had an encapsulated rear. If you look back at the development cars in the 60s, the DP cars, early DB5, there is a signature where the light is encapsulated within a graphic. So I wanted to show history of the product, but not in a retrospective way, but as a nod to how we've always defined the back of our cars. Actually, quite futuristic as well in terms of the visual language.
So it's more iconic than retro, right?
Yes, exactly. I would describe it exactly as iconic. And because this is such a rare product in terms of how many times we've made a Vanquish and how many Vanquish have been produced as well, whenever we do Vanquish, it's a real signifier that it is simply the flagship of the lineup. It simply sits, has brilliant presence and wonderful proportion.
Okay, so as you mentioned, Vanquish is something brand new. And how would you balance between sports and luxury?
Obviously, in developing the engine, which compared to the last generation V12, this is about 90% new. So how it delivers power is very differently. How it responds and how the throttle works is very, very different to the last generation of product. So if we start with pure performance and say, well, Vanquish has to be the epitome of performance in terms of its on-road drivability. Its sheer exuberance, if you like, in the way the car drives. Once I can understand that from an engineering perspective, I can create a body and a language that suits that performance directive. So I can design something that looks muscular, that looks powerful, that looks exotic, but it's also very elegant at the same time. Because the true power of Vanquish is that you don't need to drive it like a hooligan. Exactly. You can drive it easily, but if you want to put your foot down, as you've experienced, you can pull a wheel spin in second gear.
Yeah, this is exactly what I felt with the Vanquish, but it's a pity that I do not have the chance to put my full throttle in Shanghai. Yeah, I still have to try it later. Aston Martin has been re-entered Formula One recent years. What does it change?
Yeah, I mean it changes a lot. Obviously, the executive chairman of Aston Martin, Lagonda, which is the road car company, is the outright owner of the Formula One team. So there's a synergy at the level of passion and investment and desire to make both succeed. In Silverstone, there is a brand new factory with a brand new wind tunnel and a brand new series of experts in the field of high-performing materials, high technology materials, innovation in product development. So these are the non-obvious sharing of information. How do we use carbon fiber? How do we utilize carbon fiber? How do we make carbon fiber most effective for us? And Vanquish is an all carbon fiber body. So bonded aluminium tub, and then the whole of the body is in carbon fiber. So the entirety of the product is a carbon fiber tub. Then we can use the aerodynamic knowledge. And sometimes we need to deploy aerodynamics to give a visual language, like a Valhalla or a Valkyrie, and the clear delineation into those products where you can see the aero. But sometimes we use aero to make a body smooth, to incorporate aerodynamics. And as we said at the iconic rear, all of the aerodynamics and the downforce is incorporated into the ducktail on the car. So there's a direct learning from the Formula One team, the knowledge they have, and in fact in Valhalla, the tub itself, so the crash structure and the aerodynamics is co-developed with the Formula One team. So Aston Martin Performance Technologies has co-developed that car with us.
So which one would you think is harder to design, for example, a race car on road, Valhalla and Valkyrie, or to put performance into a road car like this?
I mean, for me as a designer, they're both challenges I enjoy. Hard is not something that is a designer
that's a challenge.
It's a challenge,
right.
And it's a beautiful challenge. It's always a way to innovate, to recreate, to make something iconic. I think that the greater challenge is always to apply performance downforce without wings, without deploying aero sections. So always to integrate the language of aero into a body so it looks elegant is always harder.
So a street car should look straight.
Yeah, and it's more finite, isn't it? So if we look at James Bond, when he's wearing a dinner suit, you still know it's James Bond. Clearly when he takes off his shirt, here's an athlete.
This is going to go brilliantly.
I know.
But in a dinner suit, you have to know it's still James Bond. So this is wearing its dinner suit. And the aero car is without its suit. So it's very obvious and very clear. Whereas here it's more subtle and more elegant, more of a reduced dynamic, if you like.
Oh, okay. So a street car with big wings is like James Bond wearing boxing gloves. Yeah, right.
That's exactly the analogy. There are no boxing gloves here, but you know instantly the capability of this car.
You don't have to prove yourself.
You don't have to prove yourself. This is understated, elegant. This is a connoisseur's driving machine.
Then what about SUVs like DBX? Because would it be a bigger challenge than designing sports car? Because sports is the DNA of Aston Martin, but SUV is something new.
Yeah, and I think that the most important word there was DNA, because if you define your DNA, if you understand who you are, it's easier to translate across different sector, different product language. And of course, is it more preferable to make a front mid-engine GT car, V12, low, swept back, 2 seats only? Of course, because there is a greater challenge in accommodating 5 passengers. But if you have strong DNA and you understand, then it's easier. But what we have to remember is that my generation thinks of SUV as different to the normal car. But the younger generation of millennials has grown up with SUV. SUV is ubiquitous.
It's just a normal car.
It's just a normal car. So I have to apply, hey, this is just a normal car. But what I have to do then is make sure that the DNA, the language of our brand, sits over that product.
And how to make a normal car look sexy, actually.
Yes, yeah. But we have great benefits there because our cars are typically wide. They are typically lower in class. We have a lot of pressing depth, or the ability to create shape between the glass plane and the wheel arch flat, because we are producing, we're not pressing cars in the same way. We're producing either carbon bodied cars or deeper draw aluminium fenders, etc. So we always have a benefit in that respect. You know, if I took the Tesla here, the difference between the rear glass and the rear arch is probably about 120 millimeters. We probably have something like 190 millimeters. So we have a much wider car versus the rear glass.
So that's why it looks much more sportive than the other SUVs.
Again, you're able to emphasize the physique of the car, and our cars have a physique. Part of the DNA, the language, is that built for purpose. So if you mentioned a boxer or boxing gloves, if you see a boxer in the physique, you know what they're going to do. You know what their sport is. If you see a sprinter, you know what their sport is. If you see a ballet dancer, you know. So it's about generating the form and the shape which is appropriate to the usage of the car, which is why this is, as I say, it's more elegant, it's more of a noble statement, if you like, whereas the SUV, the DBX, is more agile, it's more about adventure, it's more about this kind of cross-purpose use, as it were. But you have to have the core elements of beauty and DNA.
Okay, I see. And like, what about colors? Because like color, it seems to be really important for Aston Martin. And for different car, we have different iconic colors. So this Vanquish, why it is white and blue interior?
Color is vitally important for product. Obviously, color is customer choice.
You always have one advertisement color.
Yeah, exactly. and that should represent the ethos of the car. It should represent the idea or the notion of the car, the subtlety or the extreme nature of the car. You know, which is why a Valhalla will be shown in far more extrovert colors, far more change and flip in the color itself. And Vanquish, this is a very, very elegant white color. But it's also got something very interesting in the sunlight, the amount of mica, the reflections in the surface, that it's not a static white, it's a white with a lot of movement and also a lot of depth. Therefore, when you have depth, you have conversation, you have curiosity. So color should be about the curiosity of form that is generated from the light that reflects from it, to make you look more, to make you see something, particularly in sunlight. You know, as you see cars moving, highlights are caught from fenders, from hoods. And because we have such great body form, the color always has to highlight that as well.
Okay.
And so it becomes iconic right now because of Formula One and the fact that we've always raced in green. Green is an incredibly popular color for us across all the range, all the models. And that's partly because it is an iconic color for Aston Martin.
Okay. But the green is a bit different, right?
Yeah.
Used to be the British racing green, but now we call it the Aston Martin green.
Podium green.
Yeah, podium green, yeah. You can get a coffee soon. Are you still suffering from jet lag, or?
I am, yeah. We only arrived this morning.
Okay.
So, but you know, it's worth it. To be driven around Shanghai by yourself.
The car is quite wide, actually.
It is.
It's wider than it looks, you know?
Yeah, it's to put the power down.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a lot of horsepower here.
Especially for a rear-wheel drive car, it's better to be like this, to unleash the V12 engine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But call me a good driver, I can just plug it in one. So let's get some coffee? Okay, let's go. 好闊啊部車，你看。
But I mean, this is important, you know. As I was saying, all of our cars have this amount to play with the body form, and this is a one-piece carbon all the way to the front.
You know, oh, this is so sexy, you know, this part of the Vanquish. It makes it like stand out of the other Aston Martins, yeah, okay. So how often you come to China?
Probably twice a year, yeah. I mean, I'm a professor at Tongji University
Oh, I see.
as well, so tomorrow I do a lecture for the students.
But do you often go to F1 races?
Yeah, but well,
Half of them or less?
not quite half, less
Okay.
than half, maybe 6 or 7 per year.
I see.
And then I like to go to places where I can gain some insight, some knowledge, some inspiration. So obviously coming here is always important. I may go to Singapore this year, obviously the UK, but we'll travel out to some of the distant places.
So what would you like to have?
I would like a double espresso.
I would just have an ice americano.
但是聊着聊着，他突然间跟我聊起了面前这台咖啡机。
Design could be improved a lot, but the way it makes the coffee is one of the best in the world.
So tell me, like, how would you improve the design?
Oh, well, personally, I think some of these curves are a little bit retrospective.
Okay.
So it looks a little bit Art Deco, and it's not very well integrated. I understand it because their chassis, which is this, which solidifies the design. I personally would integrate it a little bit more. I would do carbon fiber and do a very different chassis design for here. The internals are exceptional because of how it, and we'll taste it, how it makes the coffee. But
So you are not a huge fan of like retro design?
And actually here, imagine, so my watch is made from reconstituted carbon, so crushed from a Formula One car. So this is all made from Sebastian Vettel's Formula One car, front nose cone. You see even the green flecks in there. So imagine taking recycled carbon and producing this piece as either a printed or 5-axis machined. You could make something so cool.
Okay. And my question is, how many watches could they make out of that?
Well, here I think we made 306. So you could take more of the car and crush it. My point is that you could do a material that looks less industrial here and more, because you have an incredible material that comes out, the process it goes through, grinding, the knowledge, and then you have this rather crude chassis. I just think everything should have an elegance to it.
Designer DNA is like integrated in like every part of you.
Everything. Everything annoys me.
So when you see anything like it's like okay, it's
Oh yeah,
good design.
everything annoys me. Quality as well. So you know, like I would never. So here a shut line, right? And look already, this is the natural material, but it has a mistake. So it makes it look like it's chipped. And because it's right in your eye line, so I would have had this joint lower down. So that your eye is not looking on, it's
apparent.
Less apparent, yeah. So I think design can improve so many things.
See, like the floors are all
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. When it's up there, you don't see.
You don't see it. Yeah. So I would have shifted so that that band is much lower down.
Okay. So would you say you're a man of perfection?
Yeah. Yeah. When something doesn't work, I get very frustrated.
So, thank you, 谢谢. So usually what happens if you have some like one design that engineer could not meet your requirement, like what happens usually? You get frustrated or you push them,
Push and do it. Try and convince the team that it's the right thing for the product. Try and convince them that, you know, particularly with higher price point cars where the customer sees value, then the customer should feel the value as well as see the value as well. So if you have innovative solutions, then the customer is going to see the value in a product more. You have to be determined to achieve the perfection you want, because ultimately in our world, quality, the perception of something is your first impact, your first contact. Yes, you can drive the car, wow, it's amazing, power, drives so well, sounds great. But before that, you have to see, feel, touch the car. And that's my job. My job is to make you fall in love instantly.
Yeah, exactly. You have to like be willing to test drive the car.
Yes, the engineering team they're a partner. Without engineering, without manufacturing, I can't design cars. I need them, but you need to bring them on your journey as well.
So you can only be the designer of Aston Martin because with the luxury brand, so it can support you, right?
Yeah.
A brand like Aston Martin makes the life of designer easier this way?
No, I think I mean, it's a great brand to design for. So already it's a win because it's a brand of desire. It's a brand, when you say the name, people expect something, but then you have to deliver on the expectation. So that's the hard part.
Because people have like really high expectations.
They have an expectation, therefore you have to deliver. It's like saying, you know, one of my favorite bands is Radiohead. If they got together and made an album, it would have to be better than the last. So there's an expectation set.
When you travel around, do you get some inspirations from different cities?
Always, always. It's not just city, it's conversation, it's people, it's culture, it's color, it's sound, smell, sight, everything, because, you know, the world is an ever-changing world. And we can gain knowledge from the internet, from our digital research. But the digital research can't tell me how the sun feels here, the nice cool breeze, the coffee I just had from a Slayer machine with this is a memory, it's an olfactory memory, and I think that inspires. Every time we have a memory, we get inspiration from something. So I think travel, meeting people, conversing, and always relative. Obviously, it's very relative with yourself, and it will be relative later with consumers and customers. But I think just color, sight, sound, the different combinations are done so differently everywhere on the planet. You know, even the way these trees are cut and the color of the trees now without leaves, it is, you know, this is an inspirational city. I always feel like I'm coming to the future when I come to Shanghai. And I think I've been coming here since 2007, so have seen the change through that time as well.
Have you seen the movie Her?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's shot in Shanghai, so it looks really futuristic here.
Shanghai is a high fashion city. You know, it's a very young city, and there is a clear youthful wealth. There is also a little bit of an extrovert view, but sometimes a very introverted view and style as well. But it's a very vibrant city, and I think therefore color should be vibrant. You can be more exotic, you can have a different take on the elegance. Like white would be quite normal and standard, but the bright blue interior, now that's a Shanghai car for me.
所谓听君一席话，胜读10年书。在 F1 开赛的时候，世界很多名人大佬都会来到现场，在跟他们交流的途中，能学到很多宝贵的知识。所以其实 F1 除了看比赛以外，还是一个与各种领域车迷去交流的一个机会。下一集我带你们看不一样的 F1， 红掉了已经。去南半球见另外一位传说中的大佬。